supposed to believe that it's impossible to find free condoms in Washington. And it's a good question. Where are the guys that these women at Georgetown Law are having sex with? Where is their responsibility? I mean, these guys are going to learn, if they haven't already, they're going to be buying a lot more for sex than just birth control pills. I'm just, why the exemption here on birth? What makes birth control pills so unique that the insurance company, government, somebody, taxpayers has to provide this? Well, we all know the answer here. This allows them to talk women's freedom, women's reproductive rights. But it's also the expansion of government. Let's listen to some of Sandra Fluke. But did you know CBS ripped me for calling Danica Patrick a woman driver? What is she? Is she a male driver and I've missed it? What is she? Look at what's happening to our language. I called Danica Patrick a woman driver. Well, because she had said that she thinks the government is perfectly responsible in making these decisions for us. She trusts the government. I said, well, okay, she's a woman driver. That makes sense. What is she? Here's Sandra Fluke before this committee, the House Democrat Steering and Policy Committee hearing on contraception. Here's a portion of her opening remarks.
When I look around my campus, I see the faces of the women affected by this lack of contraceptive coverage.
Do you believe that? Stop this. Stop. Listen to. You think we're hearing about a killer disease here? You think we're listening to testimony about some horrible crime that's being committed? The faces of women affected by the lack. Let me ask you people, when you walk down the street and you see a woman and you look at her face, can you determine whether or not she's had a birth control pill or not? Do you know whether or not she's suffering and in pain and miserable because she can't find any birth control? Who knows this? How do you look at the face of a woman and know that? But listen to the way this is being portrayed. It's like a terminal disease not having your birth control pill. Listen to this.
Last week, I have heard more and more of their stories. They tell me that they have suffered financially, emotionally, and medically because of this lack of coverage. Without insurance coverage, contraception, as you know, can cost a woman over $3,000 during law school. For a lot of students who, like me, are on public interest scholarships, that's practically an entire summer's salary. 40% of the female students at Georgetown Law reported to us that they struggled financially as a result of this policy.
Ms. Fluke, have you ever heard of not having sex? Have you ever heard of not having sex so often? What next that you can't afford are you going to go to Pelosi and say we need to buy? Mink? A Volt? A Prius? What next are you going to want, Ms. Fluke, that you see etched in misery on the faces of fellow students at Georgetown? Because they don't have. When I look around my campus, I see the faces of the women affected. Listen, just play the opening line of this again. It's soundbite number 4. Listen to this.
When I look around my campus, I see the faces of the women affected by this lack of contraceptive coverage.
Prove it! Stop it! Prove it! What is on their faces? Acne? What is it? Acne? Zits? What's on their faces that tells you? Seriously. You know, I'm the mayor of Realville. I live in Literalville. This is hilarious. Absolutely skyrocketing hilarious to have this portrayed as the latest killer disease. Brought to you by the Republicans, of course.